So today, this is my first RE video. Like, share, and subscribe and comment. This will really help me in so many ways. So I'm going to be teaching about Muslim life after death. Now, the term for that is akira. That's it in Arabic. Now, learning about this topic is really, really important, because let's say someone has been suffering for quite a while, and they believe in Allah, which is Arabic for God, and they end up dying but following all of his commands. Having no life after death would be kind of unfair, even though they just get to rest in peace, a common term. But to reward people who follow his doctrines, his God's doctrines, he rewards them with Jannah. But before Jannah, which is heaven, or Jahannam, hell, which I'm going to come to later, there is a period where the body stays in the grave. Now, that's called Barzakh. That's the period where you just wait in the grave. During that time, two angels, Munkar and Nakir, which is Munkar and Nakir, will ask you three questions. Who is your Lord or God? What faith do you have? And who is your prophet? Now, the answers would be to who is your Lord or God. For Muslims, it would be Allah or God. For prophet, it would be Muhammad, especially as he was the seal of the prophet, who literally got revealed to the Quran by Jibreel and spread it to everyone. So that's why the answer is Muhammad and not any other one before him. Now, obviously, quite obviously, the answer to what is your faith would obviously be Islam. Now, if you answer all those questions correctly, well, that's kind of good. That's one of the first steps to getting to Jannah, heaven. Now, if you just answer, if you don't mean to and you answer one of them wrong, fine. So, you still go to Jannah. But if you don't believe in Islam at all and you answer them wrong, or you just answer them right, even though you know you're not Muslim, then you still go to hell. It's that simple. But it can happen where there's Day of Judgment. There will be Day of Judgment for all the people, for all living people, all living beings, no exceptions to celebrities or politicians or whatever. Everyone is included in Day of Judgment. Now, an angel called Israfil will blow his trumpet to mark the start of the Day of Judgment. And before you die, there will be two angels, one on each shoulder, who will just record your good deeds and your bad deeds. One will record your good, other will record your bad. So the one on the left side is bad, the other one's good. Obviously the left is bad and the right is good, as it's shown in many cultures. Now, the important part is that if you think of a good deed, then it will be counted as a good deed. If you think of a bad one but you don't do it, then, well, it's not going to be recorded as a bad deed. If you think of a good deed but you don't get the chance to do it, or you don't do it, it's still recorded as a good deed. If you do a bad deed, it's still recorded. Do a good deed, still recorded. It's literally that simple. Just obey Allah, which is the main instruction for Muslims, and follow all his teachings, and ensure you minimize the amount of bad impacts that you have in your life, and you will go to Jannah in the afterlife. Now, there's an important part. It's like the As-Salat bridge. Now, this is very important. Muslims who have behaved well according to Allah's teachings will fly over the bridge. Now, the As-Salat bridge is a bridge filled with spikes, and the righteous fly over it to Jannah, because at the end of the bridge, Jannah is there. And some sinners will walk on that bridge walk on that bridge facing the pain, which kind of symbolizes the pain that God has when you just forsake Him. And some sinners just fall off the bridge straight into Jahannam. Now we'll focus on Jannah first, because it's like not as if it's the greater of the two, but it's kind of a bit more important. Now, for Jannah, there are 7 levels. 7 levels. Unlike Christianity, which I believe in, there are no levels in Christianity. But there are 7 levels in Jannah. That all depends on how much you study, read, and meditate the Quran. Now, the more you study, read, and meditate the Quran, the more you connect with God and the deeper relationship you have with Him. And, well, the higher up you go in the levels, and the higher in levels you go, the more pleasant it is for you. Now, Jannah is described to be having a lot of gardens, a lot of pleasure, where there is no lack, want, or any sins at all. There is no death, or aging, or whatever. Oh, well, I won't say it's the same as Christianity, but, well, it's like a similar description. Similar description, but not the same. Now, after that, you will live a good life. You live in Jannah. And it's like eternal blessings. Now, we move on to Jahannam, which is eternal punishment. Now, Jahannam is literally hell, opposite of Jannah. Now, like Jannah, there are 7 levels, but there are a few important things I want to tell you. If anyone tries escaping from Jahannam, there are guards who will push them back. They will push them back into Jahannam. They'll have boiling water poured onto them, and their flesh will be regenerated a set period of time to make them feel the pain eternally. Again, symbolizing you forsaking God, not listening to His teachings, or just ignoring Quran, or just being blasphemous in general. Just all those sins will get you to Jahannam if you do not repent, essentially speaking. And there are special punishments for different sins you have done in your life. For example, arrogant people. By the way, arrogant is like when you size yourself up and then bring others down. If you bring others down in your life, then you will be reduced to the size of an ant. Trust me, it's not even good. And if you get stepped on and it hurts and your body parts go everywhere, you will end up regenerating because it's eternal punishment. And people who are like gossipers will have their mouths just shut so they won't be able to speak. Those are some of the punishments in Jahannam. However, the 7 levels I'm talking about aren't like how you progress in Jahannam. So, doing stuff in Jahannam will still get you into higher levels until you reach a 7th one. But your level in Jahannam is predetermined, meaning that you just stay there. You stay there. You do not move. You do not go down. You do not go up. No, whatever. You just stay at that specific level. So, let's say you were really blasphemous to God and saying Allah is terrible God, or something like that, then you would be on one of the highest levels. It's the reverse of Jahannam, Jannah, because in Jannah, the higher level you are, the greater your experience is in Jannah. Now, the higher in Jahannam, the worse it is. So it's essentially inverse. So if you have done a worse sin, then you will be on one of the higher levels. But if you have done one of the less worse sins out there, then you'll be on one of the lower levels. Which is still bad, since you'll still get boiling water poured all over you, like every moment. And then you have yourself regenerated to feel that pain over and over again, which is why Muslims try to avoid doing sins in their life. They just try avoid doing so that way they can go to Jannah, experience the blessings, have an actual connection with Allah. If you do not connect with Allah, Muslims believe, then you will be disconnected. So if you refuse to connect, Allah will not connect with you. Because by the time you go to Jahannam, too late. Just like most stuff, most beliefs, where the afterlife is important, well, depends on how good you have been in your life. Not based on good deeds or anything, not solely based on that, although it is somewhat good to have. Morals aren't the sole basis, otherwise everyone would go to Jannah or heaven or whatever at some point in their lives, so they wouldn't even need to consider going to hell. So it's essentially about behaving well so you get good results, not about just doing the wrong thing so you get worse results. That's essentially what the beliefs of Muslim afterlife is. Be bright, stay right, and I hope you understood about Muslim afterlife. Like, subscribe, share and comment. This really helps me out. Thank you so much. Bye.